Alright, let's see here. New information dropped from Riot. Let's see. Building a brighter future, third international event, fearless draft, multi-region, getting rid of LCS. Getting rid of LCS. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video today. And I'm going to be going over the new future of League of Legends esports, building towards a bright future. This article pretty much covers everything they did in the director's video today. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. But I'm going to read the article and give my thoughts over how I think this will positively and negatively impact the future of LoL esports, especially here in the West, with their changes of what they want to do. Without further ado, let's get into this. So I got the article pulled up here. It's called LoL Esports Building Towards a Brighter Future. And this is their expectations for the upcoming LoL Esports 2025 season. So they have several things going on here. So they have a third international event, which I think is great. More national play, better competition. Definitely increases the amount of viewership that this should see. Absolutely wonderful there. We'll get more into that, what that looks like in a second. Involving a fearless draft game mode and tier 1 play. So the third international event will be fearless. If you don't know what fearless is, pretty much if a character is picked, they cannot be picked again for the rest of the series of that best of 5, best of 3, anything like that. Unified split schedule for all leagues. I believe this is wonderful. This means everyone starts on the same day, has the same schedule, and everyone will be ready for the same international event at the same time, with the finals being exactly on the same day. This should make everything easier and actually give teams completely fair advantages, at least when it comes to time schedules on going to international events, allowing teams to travel from America and Europe much easier to Eastern countries and vice versa. Proposed multi-region leagues in Asian Pacific, or APAC, in Americas. This is the one I really want to talk about. So if we scroll to this section here, it's pretty much saying, you can go, I'm going to pause here so you guys can read it, that they're going to combine the CBLOL and the LCS into one region with the Latin America region. And I just don't see this being a good thing, because what they're saying is we're seeing an upswing in sentiment and achieving the first year of growing viewership. So, and we're also seeing that the CBLOL is popular than ever. So why are we getting rid of things that are going up in trajectory and combining them to decrease it? Because they want to take only 6 LCS teams. They want to take 6 CBLOL teams and 6 LCS teams. So 2 of our existing LCS teams, after losing 2 LCS teams, will be gone. So we're reducing the amount of competition in North America, which they quote say will increase the amount of decent players that we have and decrease the amount of mediocre players, allowing us to have stiffer competition, which will increase the overall competitiveness of the league. What this seems to me is we're robbing players of jobs, staff of jobs, and all sorts of people of their livelihoods, because Riot doesn't want to fund multiple teams. This is to increase the revenue share of all the different teams involved. So you're going to lose teams that people have fan bases of simply because Riot doesn't want to give all the money to more teams. I don't think this is a positive change in any way. I do understand they want to combine the regions and have one representative at the tournament, the third tournament of the year, which is fine. But I don't understand why we're lessening the amount of regions overall just to have more competition when we can just send these regions on their own, because we would just have 5 regions, and 5 regions of play is not an even number, which makes it really hard for brackets. So one region doesn't get representative in that bracket stage seems a little funky to me. So how I would do this is I would just leave the current format alone and have teams and leagues increase their overall, just force teams to make content, force the leagues to make content, force the leagues to get better and produce a better product rather than trying to fix it when the league is on the up and up after the recent changes that Mark Zimmerman and the LCS team have really made to improve the product over the year. I think they're doing a great job on that they should just keep the LCS how it is and let them do their thing. The Brazilian CBLOL has become more and more competitive over the years, and the cast is very incredible, and I believe that they have a lot of talent going on there. They're not competitively like on the main stage yet, but I do believe that they have some chances. Brazil has always been a dark horse region. I don't believe that we should be getting rid of the entire region simply because we want to. LATAM has struggled. I'm not going to disagree with that. But the growing interest, why are we trying to, like, this that makes no sense from their argument. if we have these growing leagues, why are we trying to bring the leagues together? You're going to lose viewership because you're cutting out different teams. So you're losing viewers of teams and fans automatically. So you're not going to grow from this. You're only going to hurt yourself because there's less competition. But I do like that they would have promotion and relegations for teams, which I do believe should already exist. But the way I believe that they should do this is just because we already have 8 teams in the LCS. So let's take those 8 teams, have 2 academy teams automatically bumped up, and then let those teams, and then we'll have 2 relegation and promotion spots like we just did, but the other, and we'll have 8 things. People can automatically buy their way in for a season to begin with, and then the rest of them are just promotion, relegation, and there is no holding back. People already want this. We can implement this without making people mad. And if you want to improve the overall competition of a region, promotion and relegation allows the region to stay competitive because teams are forced to field decent rosters. Let's talk about the APAC thing, though. I do believe that the APAC would be a great idea, simply because it's combining Hong Kong, Japan, Indonesia, Vietnam, and all those, and Oceania, which finally Oceania is getting something to represent them into one big region. I do believe that maybe we should combine some of those, but I don't think like all of them. Like the PCS and VCS, I believe should be left alone and shouldn't be touched. I think we can combine Japan, Indonesia, and Oceania into a region, and that would be a really competitive region, but allow all the teams that want to stay a part of the region and just make a big region. We don't need to be cutting teams out and restricting the amount of teams and the amount of options people have into a type of series like this. If we want to grow esports and we want to make it something that people care about, restricting the amount of teams that we have is a terrible option. Now, let's get into the split format. So split 1, teams would first compete within their respective conference. The top performing teams qualify for a cross-conference play with a single team qualifying for a global tournament. So we're getting 1. Split 2. For MSI, the top team from each conference would secure 1 slot, a total of 2 Americas teams. Why? Just keep it how it is. So we're only really going to, and honestly, my fear about this is the LCS teams have more money and more power, so they're automatically probably going to win, even if they're not the best teams overall, just because they can buy better players to beat the CBLOL and the LLA. So the LLA and CBLOL will never actually get a chance to truly prove what they're made of by competing through another region's chance to go to an international event. If we are blocking these regions, they're never going to grow. Saying that we want to make our region like the VCT, when VCT teams function differently in how they're structured, it won't work. League is different than Valorant, and if we try to treat League like Valorant, it never will happen. Split 3. America's regional champions will determine 3 teams advancing to Worlds with at least 1 team from each conference. So what's the point of the tournament if we have 3? You're automatically going to get the loud, whatever the LLA team is, and whatever the best North American team is. So even if North America has the best 3 options for a Worlds representative, you only get to send 1. It doesn't make any sense. Why are we limiting the amount of possible competition overall to a specific tournament just so that other teams, Riot even thinks this is a problem because they have to put in a rule that says at least 1 from each conference. It makes complete sense that they're saying, oh, we know that the CBLOL and the LLA aren't as good, so we're going to automatically give them a spot anyway. So why not keep the regions how they are? This accomplishes nothing for you. One advantage of making the decision to reconstruct the Americas is so we can prior structure allows in case to incorporate guest teams into Tier 1 from Tier 2 systems. I believe that promotion and relegation tournaments should exist. This is good. Let's add the Disguised Toast teams. Let's let the Cincinnati Fear and a couple other ones that I just honestly can't remember at this time. But let's let those teams have a chance to prove that they are good enough to show. This is great. Let's add more teams. But we don't need to be taking away teams in the process. Let's take a look at the new event is what they're calling it. So this will probably be sometime in the summer. It's kind of funny actually. They have 100 Thieves right there. So they have international events here, right? So it's 5 teams, 1 spot per region. So, and they want to do a fearless round robin. So you have a big. So we're automatically just going to give China and Korea, because let's be honest with ourselves in the current state of esports, the best possible chance to succeed over anything else? This is an unbalanced event. We have MSI, 2 spots per region, nothing crazy new. I like the MSI format, I think it's good. This world stays the same, I think that's great. But this new event, I had so much hope for, and I think they're just bobbling the bag with trying to change things. We don't need to be getting rid of competition when the competition isn't already high enough. Let's read the trade-offs. Let's see what Riot admits and doesn't admit, and then I'll give my opinions on this. We believe that strongly that the future we're building towards was better one for our fans. False. If we're removing fans because we're removing teams, then there's less fans overall. Pro teams and their sport will be more streamlined and easy to follow. This has more exciting events, track for its financial stability, including better support for global revenue pools. This all comes down to dollars and cents, people. Because at the end of the day, they don't give a damn effect if you're a fan of any bottom tier team that can't afford in this new system. They want their dollars and cents, and they're trying to screw over the fan first. They can say that this is a great experience for fans, pros, and teams, but what we really do is we're saying that half the pros can't have a job anymore, half the teams won't exist in League of Legends, which is really the founding esport outside of Counter-Strike, in my opinion, or StarCraft that doesn't exist anymore, and the fans will be gone. That said, it's more important to acknowledge that these changes come with making deliberate trade-offs to achieve a future. Our proposal does reduce the number of teams in the Tier 1 ecosystem, so they're admitting that. Put simply, there are too many teams in Tier 1 to support stability. By reducing the number of teams, we'd be able to focus on support for global revenue shares. We're distributed among fewer teams, thereby increasing revenue per team. This would also help concentrate players and talent, making it easier for fans to follow streamlined ecosystems, the ultimate to create more high-quality matches worth your time. That's great, but if you don't have the teams that people want to, like, let's say that I'm a Dignitas fan, all right? And Dignitas leaves at the end of this year because of this new system. I can no longer follow my team and the storied org that Dignitas truly is and how they came to be. Whether or not you like Dignitas or not, doesn't matter. You're losing a true piece of the LCS there, just like you lost TSM and CLG. Let's say that I'm an NRG fan and I just came in the league and we won, but we realize that this isn't good enough yet, and we don't want to support this because it's too shaky. I'm out. 2 teams have to automatically give up their spot here simply because they want. Riot is forcing this. I understand that some teams may be in a financial situation, but I don't believe that this is the right way to go about it. And with that, that's all I have for today, guys. Leave your comments down below what you think of this new format. I will be making more videos on this. Make sure you guys have a great and wonderful day. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.